stream? Boo, boo, boo! Hang out with Boo in chat. Key blast the subscribe button. Do you like chocolate? We have a good time, okay? Boo you! Like and subscribe, or Boo turn you into candy! Beep, 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 beep. Beep, 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 beep. Welcome to BuuTube, Buu Beans! Thanks for tuning in! You play with Boo now! Yay! You ready for another great stream? Boo, boo, boo! Hang out with Boo in chat. Key blast the subscribe button. Do you like chocolate? We have a good time, okay? Boo you! Like and subscribe, or Boo turn you into candy! Beep, 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 beep. Beep, 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 beep. Welcome to BuuTube, Buu Beans! Thanks for tuning in! You play with Boo now! Yay! You ready for another great stream? Boo, boo, boo! Hang out with Boo in chat. Key blast the subscribe button. Do you like chocolate? We have a good time, okay? Boo you! Like and subscribe, or Boo turn you into candy! Beep, 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 beep. Beep, 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 beep. Welcome to BuuTube, Buu Beans! Thanks for tuning in! You play with Boo now! Yay! You ready for another great stream? Boo, boo, boo! Hang out with Boo in chat. Key blast the subscribe button. Do you like chocolate? We have a good time, okay? Boo you! Like and subscribe, or Boo turn you into candy! Beep, 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 beep. Beep, 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 beep. Welcome to BuuTube, Buu Beans! Thanks for tuning in! You play with Boo now! Yay! You ready for another great stream? Boo, boo, boo! Hang out with Boo in chat. Key blast the subscribe button. Do you like chocolate? We have a good time, okay? Boo you! Like and subscribe, or Boo turn you into candy! Beep, 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 beep. Beep, 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 beep. Welcome to BuuTube, Buu Beans! Thanks for tuning in! You play with Boo now! Yay! You ready for another great stream? Boo, boo, boo! Hang out with Boo in chat. Key blast the subscribe button. Do you like chocolate? have a good time, okay? Boo-yoo! Like and subscribe, or Boo turn you into candy! Beep, 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 beep. Beep, 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 beep. Welcome to BuuTube, Buu Beans! Thanks for tuning in! You play with Boo now! Yay! You ready for another great stream? Boo! 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 Hang out with Boo in chat! Key blast the subscribe button! Do you like chocolate? We have a good time, okay? Boo-yoo! Like and subscribe, or Boo turn you into candy! Beep, 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 beep. Hello, Buu Beans! Welcome to BuuTube! Boo is live! And unfortunately, Superman paid Boo money, so Boo have to watch this stupid Dead by Daylight video. It's very likely that this video will not be monetized at all because Boo have to stream somebody else's content now so that we can prove that Boo did what was paid for. Fortunately, Boo got paid more than the stream revenue would have possibly made. So it's fine. We're just gonna watch it, and Boo's gonna sit here and eat cake while we watch this dumb video about this dumb game that Boo not even wanna play. Ugh! Took Boo 20 minutes to make the display capture work so we could watch this dumb video together. Where's the chat? Boo cannot see the chat. It's a tutorial by Roby. Yes, Boo's going to watch this Roby video. If you like Roby, if you like this video, subscribe to Roby. Yes, it does make Boo money, and that's the only reason why any of this is possible. So you better be grateful. Alright, so, what is Demi? You know what, never mind. Boo not want to know. Just don't tell. Forget it. Forget Boo even said anything. Alright, stream goal is live. We still need 5 more super chats to get to the next stream goal, which is a viewer's choice. Last time we played Among Us, and it was chosen by Ice Dragon, and she was there for like an hour. So next time, whoever chooses a game, make sure that you're actually there to see it or play it the whole time, alright? But yeah, if we get 5 more super chats of $2 or more, or if we get an equivalent amount of gifted memberships, then we will do the next viewer's choice game next week, okay? Let's get started with this video very quickly. Please tell Boo if you can hear the video or not. If you can't hear the video, Boo have to fix something.
Have the answer to a question. When they do the Alien chapter, were they going to name it the Alien or the Xenomorph? One was a bit more chic and nouveau, elegant even. However, the Xenomorph name really gets to the point. Plus, it leaves the option for behavior to really mess with us and do a 3rd sci-fi chapter in a row. So many Reddit threads open to alien fan powers. A million sphinxes in a million deserts, but they all tell a million lies.
Blah, blah, blah. Not talking
Yet,
about the game.
enough,
Blah, blah,
what
blah.
actually ended up being the power is something I wouldn't have taken seriously if it came out of a fan's mouth. If you tried to tell someone online that your killer's power comes with automated turrets that shoot at them, you'd get thoroughly told off by a guy that wouldn't last 5 minutes in a room with a guy just like him. It's an adaptation of Alien, the first one, but it has more in common with the modern conceptions of the franchise. The first movie had its rules. If the alien notices you, you're dead. It stalks through the vents, then kills you quickly and suddenly. The only way to survive is to just not let it know you're there. However, as time has gone on, we've moved towards seeing the alien as a threat that you can't kill, but one that you can fight. which results in a killer that smashes your head into the pavement and then does something that once made H.R. Geiger grab the tissues. But also one that brings maybe my favorite new
His name is pronounced Giger, not Geiger.
Also being maybe a bit boring to play. It's got the same idea as the Singularity. Very strong power that is tempered by a tool the survivors have. And the balance of that single tool either makes you unstoppable or totally useless. Meaning this is a killer that will never know balance. You make the tool too strong and the killer sucks. You make the tool too good and, well, they'll still be glad it's not Skull Merchant, and we could get into the nitty-gritty of the power. But first, this video is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends, and you know the bit here, right? I'm here, you're there, and we've both got a lot of explaining to do. You've set fire to the local orphanage?
What?
Looks like you're going up to the farm, buddy. And on the flight over, you can play this free PvE mobile RPG.
What are you talking about, man?
Tier of champion, mythical, right above legendary. Mythical champions can metamorph to swap between two distinct champions. This is me, but this is a more realistic-looking and sad version of me.
Why you play that game? Yeah.
But you'll never see anything past that thin veneer.
Mythical champions are basically thank you for joining stream.
You can summon them with the brand new red primal shards that you can find in the portal. Mythical champions.
We're 2.5 minutes into this movie, and Buu has learned nothing
the same artifacts,
at all.
Accessories, masteries, and blessings. So make your build carefully. If you're new to Raid Shadow Legends, you can get your hands on the new epic champion Stag Knight. He comes with a new special skin designed by the one and only Jontron. Just use the promo code JTSkin before October 7th to get it. And if you're not a new player, you can still get him and the skin through an ongoing event. You can also get the legendary champion Sung Wukong. Just log in on 7 different days between now and October 23rd to get your hands on it. Use my link in the description or scan the on-screen QR code to get my bonuses. We're talking the epic champion Drake, energy refills, skill tomes, and XP boosters. And I think I know you've got a lot of time on your hands, buddy. Thank you again.
Sorry, Boo's mic was muted.
For sponsoring this video.
So if weight loss is the goal, it's all about nutrients per calorie, and Grooves has everything needed to help.
So this is the
Boo, not eat your green gummies.
All right, back to the fun part. To boil the killer down simply, the alien is constantly charging up to an advanced state called runner mode. When they're not in this state, they're a casual 32-meter terror radius having, average height being 115% killer that you can get in the all-sale aisle. When this meter reaches its max, you hunch down, become shorter, and gain access to a tail attack that has the hitbox of a magic 8-ball. The survivors try to take you out of this mode with these special flame turrets, which slow you down and remove your runner mode if you sit in the flames for too long. The survivors get access to 4 of these, and you can destroy them with either kind of attack. More on those later. Throughout the map, there are tunnels, and when you go inside, you can move faster while also rapidly recharging the runner mode. The entrances and exits are at command centers, which are also the altars at which the survivors collect the turrets. These will always spawn near a generator, but like in a cute kind of way where you aren't near the generator at all. When above ground, you can ping the tunnels to gain a way marker while inside. It's one thing to orient your teleport when you're dancing around and can see over yonder. It's another thing to do it when the whole game looks like a Taco Bell themed aqueduct. You go underground.
What are you talking about, man?
Just shift off to some nether plane far in the distance for this teleport, but thematically you go underground and pop up to surprise survivors. Usually with runner mode fully charged. If you look at the number on the command center, you can see how many of the turrets are in play, with a maximum of 4. That is the SparkNotes version of this killer. They're one that is generally a
Superman make Buu watch this video so Buu can play Dead by Daylight better, but he's just going yap 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 and Buu learned nothing.
Fire this off to reach over pallets and windows, but don't get fooled into thinking the range is longer than it is. These motion lines can be very deceiving. This is actually shorter than Nemesis's whip. Both tiers, actually. The tail attack is 4.8 meters, and at level 1, Nemesis's whip is 5 meters, and at level 3, it's 6 meters. The difference is that it doesn't telegraph itself by being drawn out first. If the alien is on all 4s, the whip is basically always out with a quarter of a second for wind-up time. Wind-up time that you can disguise by using it around corners. And use it around corners you will if you want to break those fucking turrets. The upside is that you can use this to bait and attack. Every window is an opportunity now. If you can trick the survivor to run past it, you can prime your tail attack and then gouge out a piece of them. Let's not forget, you're also capable of a surprise attack.
Superman,
then you come out of a tunnel and you're going so fast that you
sit there and eat your popcorn.
Exiting
Don't
the tunnels turns off nearby turrets for a second, which has fucked me over more than it's helped. Out of the kindness of their hearts, Behavior turned off the collision for psyched out turrets. So if you try to act fast, you'll just end up getting burned while you miss your swing. I don't have any footage of that, you just gotta trust me. If you get burned early in the chase, I might suggest going back into the tunnel and taking it another time. It takes a full minute for the crawler mode to come back the normal way. You have a second and 32 frames before it takes you out of your mode. The turret does about as good of a job as me. I try so hard. Even if the turret gets you in full range, it can only take you out of the power if you don't attack it properly or spot it in time. It is setting you on fire, but you can walk it off. Your blood has acid in it. What's wrong with a little bit of spice on the outside too? For perks, the alien is an interesting one. Rapid Brutality removes the bloodlust mechanic, but in exchange, every basic attack you do gives you a 5% haste. Do you want my bloodlust opinion? You will never get it because I simply refuse to think about it. I am chained at this rock and the crows will pick at me, but I'll never squeal. It's been a bit to make this video, so I've gotten a chance to test out these perks on other killers. So far, this is my least favorite perk on the menu, but I found a fun use for it on killers that stack their speed, like Skullmer. Alien Instinct activates when you hook a survivor, revealing the farthest injured survivor to you and making them oblivious for 20 seconds.
Hello, Kayla. Thank you for joining.
This is good on killers that can move quickly without announcing that they're doing it, like Blight or Wesker. Usually, the obliviousness wears off by the time you get there, but it lets you keep the momentum. It gives you a direction. Isn't that something you need? I see lo-fi beats to help you cope with depression. Those are some dirty dishes. Ultimate Weapon turns on when you open a locker. Everyone in your terror radius and everyone who enters it will scream and become blinded for 30 seconds. Then you get a cooldown. This might be one of the better perks in the game. It might even be the best tracking perk. Forcing survivors to scream when they're in your terror radius is, well, just that's it. You caught one. There's very little hiding when you turn it on, and if you told me a blindness perk was one day gonna be meta, I would have lost my mind. You can also count the screams to account for survivors. If you hear all 4, you know what objectives are safe. Normally, the play will be to use this after getting a hook. So, listen for 3. Determine if you're gonna camp, and if not, just use it to find someone else. Actually, as I'm writing this, I just realized they're getting rid of camping. I guess I've just kinda accepted that as a part of this game forever. The blindness status effect can also be more handy than people give it credit for, though the credit was worth about as much as a Burundian franc. Blindness prevents perks like Windows of Opportunity and Kindred. Have you ever been hooked in the basement with Hex 3rd Seal activated? You scratch your belly, not knowing if anyone's coming? Blindness does not affect 90% of killer powers, which is why it sucks. There's a small exception in the turret clause for Alien. I know you can't push the poor little credit any lower, unless you dare let a perk like Septic Touch be meta. It seems kinda fine when it works on Alien, and hiding his turrets is a big fucking deal. Gets me to my next point, playing Survivor against the Xenomorph. You need to understand, I'm someone who's played Killer maybe 10 times more than I've played Survivor. I don't like relying on other people. I've got a lot of insecurities, and I don't know if you noticed, but I like being the center of attention. The flame turrets are very fun to play with. Setting up the turrets and trying to organize a small fortress for the killer to penetrate is my kind of thing, as you weave together looping pallets and also try to give him a quick shower. Remember that each control station tells you how many turrets are available. You should pay heavy attention to this and make sure to place one if there's none on the map. It might not even be for you. Your ability to beat this killer is almost entirely dependent on how many turrets you can put up, which is tough because the turret is basically held together with naught but its own self-esteem. In most circumstances, the killer will be able to smash the turret, which isn't completely useless. It still delays him for a second, but in another world, the turret stops the killer from using her power. And without her power, she's about as useful as Trapper without the traps, which is to say, slightly better than Trapper. There's 2 types of ways to place the turrets, in open areas and enclosed ones. If it's out in the open, it has no shot at surprising the monster.
Boo's cake is gone, and so is Boo's patience.
It will, however, have increased range and will buy you some
No more
distance.
cake!
If the turret is in an enclosed space, you have the element of surprise on your side. Each turret has a motion tracker, but only you can hear it. The only problem is that there's less distance for him to turn and insult the turret to pieces. You gotta think of it like a gamble. If you place it in a spot like this, you're gonna shock him and potentially knock him out of his power, but you also might lead to it getting broken easier. Carrying the turret does come with an added benefit. While in the tunnels, the alien can see your footsteps, but not if you're carrying one of them. Why? Because Behavior fucking said so. You're basically as slow as my work cycle while you've got this bad boy in your arms. As for perks I'd run on the Xenomorph, remember when I just said this blows ass? Okay, cool.
No. Buu
This
not
is
object.
okay on
Buu
Alien.
sustain.
Survivors cannot see
Sentence
flame
passed.
turrets when blinded. They can see command centers where the turrets are stored, but not the turrets themselves. One hit and the survivors will not know where the precious turrets are. That's a major bonus for this killer that many others won't be able to play into. Possibly also take one of the 3 perks that makes Third Seal more viable. It's up to you if you want to chew on the handful of games where it shatters right at the start. Hell, I don't know if I want to make you do that, because I know the first thing you're going to think of is me. I'd love to give you another blindness option, but honestly, it was just added the other day. Dead Man's Switch activates when you hook a survivor. For the next 45 seconds, anyone who hops off their generator will have it become blocked for the rest of the perk's duration. If you hook someone and instantly enter the tunnel, their only notification on you showing up is the motion tracker, and that can scare people off these generators.
He's
and
going
give you
blah
more
blah blah
slowdown.
so fast.
Speaking of
Buu
terror
cannot remember
radiuses,
anything he
Monitor
said
and
so far.
Abuse reduces your terror radius by 8 meters when you're not in a chase, and increases it by 8 meters when you are in a chase. One bit I neglected to mention is that when in runner mode, your heartbeat goes from 32 meters to 24. So, if you equip this, you become Myers with an ancient Roman spear at your call. The motion detectors do still work, but not as reliably, which can let you be very deceptive when you actually roam around. Lethal Pursuer turns on the moment the match starts, revealing the aura of survivors to you. It also increases the duration of other aura-revealing perks. With the Alien's tunnel system, you can start off with an instant chase.
Do you
Per
see
the
that,
request of my
Superman?
mom, I
Once
watched the
again,
original
you have
Alien
put Buu in
before
a
playing it,
situation where
and I'm
you're
glad I
throwing
did, because it
advanced
gave me an
knowledge
appreciation
at
that I
rapid
might not
fire,
have had
and
otherwise.
Buu is not
In fact,
absorbing any
between
of it.
Alien and Ripley,
Great
I think
choice
I'm
of
more
video.
fond of the latter. Sure, they didn't get Sigourney Weaver's model, but the new
Hello,
one is
Elise.
fine.
Thank you for
Just look
joining
at that
stream.
stare. She's been through some shit. Ripley's first perk is Chemical Trap. You earn this by repairing a generator, and once you hit a certain amount, you can install a trap on dropped pallets. If the killer destroys this pallet, they get covered in a cold liquid nitrogen that slows their speed for a few seconds. Effectively, it's a way of supercharging a pallet and giving yourself a strong head start when they attempt to bust it. So this does 2 things. It either slows the killer at that pallet, or makes them dig in their heels and never break it. A killer would rather have slugs run down their shirt than bow their head and get their model turned white. You need to use this at pallets that must be broken.
Boo would rather
Easy
you
tiles
not
or even
suggest
okay
more
tiles
videos for
aren't
Boo to
worth
watch.
it.
That's
As a
what
rule
Boo
of
would
thumb,
rather.
Only use this when you think you'd be fine without it. If it's a really shitty pallet where the killer can walk around it, consider saving the trap. Fleetfoot removes the sounds of your footsteps when you're healthy, going on cooldown after a rushed vault. You also have a lot of faith to imagine that the Legion you're up against isn't using one of these. Lucky Star is very cool. It's probably my favorite perk in the entire chapter. It's a riff on the final scene of Alien, where Ripley is stuck in a chair, singing to herself the song Lucky Star, staying as calm as possible, hoping that she can pull off the eject feature before the alien notices her. That was my mom's contribution to the video, by the way. The perk lets you get in a locker, then it hides all of your blood and sounds of pain for 10 seconds. When you exit the locker, you see your team and the closest generator. I'm gonna put this down as one of those perks that will be inevitably forgotten, but if I can connect with you, viewer, I want you to try it. For me. Something that I need to say before we go on to the red add-ons discussion is that some of the Alien's basic add-ons make him very, very strong. Just the handful of ones that reduce the turret's range and stagger potential can make him much stronger than he ever needed to be. The cattle prod will reveal survivors near control stations when a generator is completed, which strikes me as odd. How does a cattle prod do that? Because it's a little noisy and gives you an echolocation? I have a hunch that this used to EMP all of the turrets for a minute when a generator was completed. Makes more sense for an electrical item, one that is shoddy at best. Plus, that could be something worthy of a red add-on. For a minute, you no longer have any safety. Okay, let's not be miserable, because the Alien Blood add-on somehow survived the PTB. When you exit a tunnel for 20 seconds, if you are stunned by a pallet, that survivor is injured or given a deep wound. Going
This
with
is
this
good.
add-on,
Who
when you
use
exit
this?
a tunnel, you need to be a W key holding machine. You want to face check a pallet, but it's not like it takes a lot of brain cells to play this killer in the first place. The Alien feels very simplistic. You use the fast travel to reach an objective, then you spam the tail attack at people. But in the same vein, I feel like this captures the feeling of the creature decently. You're a deadly monster only kept at bay with a tool, but in gameplay practice, the tail attack is kinda boring. The main use of it is figuring out the hitbox. Say what you will about the previous killers, but they felt complicated and there was a lot of macro play to them. Alien is simply a practice in being relentless, and to her credit, she is definitely more relentless than the last two with that name. The macro play is instead on the survivors. You need to plop down the turrets and set up points that you will run to later. If the xenomorph gets burned, waiting a full minute to have the power back is incentive enough to go into the tunnels. It makes the killer player want to act like the monster from the movies through the language of game design. As a full package, the Alien chapter is a W, but I just don't really enjoy the power. Just because the character exists doesn't mean you have to accept it. Here, follow me, r/Dead by Daylight. Here's my new killer concept. The Alien.
Okay, guys. Before we move on to the next thing that Buu's going to do, can anybody who understands this game tell Buu 2 things that he said Buu should do with the Alien to make it better? Because he kind of just went for 17 minutes. And Buu remembered one thing. He said use the acidic blood to make players get damaged when they do the pallet in Buu's face. That was the one thing that Buu remembered that he actually said that Buu could understand. Use the tunnels to get the run mode back. Buu remember that. But Buu never used the tunnels. Like, are they useful? Like, can you get an advantage from just crawling through the tunnels? Doesn't make sense. Buu would rather be able to see and know where Buu is. And apparently the tail attack is really long, but Buu's experience with the tail attack is that it's very short and always misses. Buu has never hit anybody with the tail attack. Alright, so if Buu used the tunnels, Buu will always come out somewhere near a generator? Is that what you're saying? Alright, fine. We're not playing Dead by Daylight this week. Tomorrow we're playing Phasmophobia with Frieza Plays. Okay? But next time we play that stupid game, Buu will be Alien and go in the tunnels and slap people with the tail. Okay? This experience was worse than Buu expected. Buu thought it would be very boring, and Buu would learn a couple of techniques that might be useful. Buu was not expecting the video to be aggravating and irritating and make Buu more mad at Superman. Buu should have expected it. Honestly, that's on Buu. Buu's going to start PS5 now, and we are going to get ready to stream some Clair Obscur Expedition 33. The only good thing about that video is that it's over. Ooh, the French. Oh, oui, oui, ha ha. Is it not turning on? Hold on, guys. It didn't do anything. Wait a minute. Buu might need to actually close this and then turn it back on. Hold on. This is only the second time Buu has streamed something on PS5. This could take a minute to figure out. No, put it back in there. Don't give it to Buu. Put it back in there. Buu wants you to turn on, not eject game. If you think that's gross, never go to China because they eat literally everything. Anybody who has a PS5, can you tell Buu which button to make it the dumb thing turn on? Because this is not working. And usually it's very easy. The light's on. It's making noise. Nothing's wrong with Buu's PC. Buu's trying to play PS5. Rose, do you know how to make PS5 start? You have one. Buu would like to watch Dark Crystal with you guys, but Buu is usually not available to do stuff like that. Alright, Buu pressed the PS5 button on the controller. It's making noise, but it's not showing anything on the screen. Buu is very confused. on TV, Buu is playing on PC. Nothing wrong with Buu's Wi-Fi. Buu have a wire connection. None of this is what Buu needs. It just won't start.